Good evening, all one and all present here. So today we are having a group discussion on the topic reservation should be based on socio-economic status only. So we have lovely people over here. Hope we would have a positive competitive environment and everyone should respect each other. So I'm Nidhi Shukla, and as far as my opinion is concerned, yes, I agree with the motion that reservation should be based on economic status of the candidate because it will actually help to create a casteless society, because then people won't be blaming other categories that he got or he or she got admission in this or that college because of the reservation based on the merit list. So it will help to balance the merit as well. Everyone get equal chance. There will be equal merit, and also it helps to address this social discrimination factor, like everyone will be treated equally. And I have seen a recent video where 7 lakh candidates of a particular category, middle class people, were not able to get admission in a good college even after having like a proper percentile, like having good marks. Maybe it was because of this factor. So like if some people having poor background, poor financial background, so despite of seeing his or her caste, we should give everyone equal chance. So reservation on the basis of economic status is much better than this caste system. So it will create a social equality among all. This was my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, as my fellow debater, Nidhi Shukla just
Yes.
validated the point that reservation should be on the basis of economic conditions. But she didn't really highlight on the part that it's very easy to like fake your economic conditions. There are many conditions for situation. Like it's very easy for rich people to just go ahead and like fake their documents, and it's very tough for government to document their wealth as well. Like if you want to just give them on the basis of wealth, how will you like calculate their wealth? Like there are so many things they can fake it. Yeah, so that's my point. Like it's very tough to like just give them reservation on the basis of economic conditions.
So if we talk about reservation on basis of economic status, uh, it may help people, the most needy people in India, because in caste system reservation, some people might get advantage. Those even who are not needy, but if we follow economic status reservation, it might help people who are needy ones. And also government has also took a step forward in constitution about they have given 10% reservation in recent years in my year 2022. And yeah, that's from economic reservation, but we can not ignore the fact about caste, that we have brought up this caste based reservation to prevent these caste inequalities, which have been followed from over hundreds of years, centuries ago. To demolish this system, we have put this system in our India. So that's from my view.
You are supporting it.
Now I'm just adjusting points on both sides.
Yes, because most of people are they are from villages. They are also poor, and a poor person can become rich, but their caste cannot change. And most backward caste are also poor, so both need to be considered.
But the caste discrimination haven't ended. I have seen in villages there are still that stereotypes that only these people can do such activities, so called upper caste people, and there are certain categories of people that they should behave in some certain manner. So caste discrimination is still going on, and these people get benefited from such things on the basis of caste reservations. basic point of reservation, we need to understand why reservation was even given. Because reservation acknowledges the centuries old discrimination and atrocities being done, and it also acknowledges the fact that these discriminations are still going on, like you just highlighted right now. So that's why reservation is given on the basis of caste, not on the basis of economic conditions. And according to the Niti Aayog's report, more than like 45% of ST people are um, under poverty line, which is the highest among all the categories. And same goes for SC, which is 35 to 40% again. So basically, all these categories have really low income levels as well. So when we are just giving them on the reservation on the basis of socio-economic social conditions, we are also somewhere giving them reservation on the basis of economic conditions as well.
I think that the topic is that reservation on the basis of caste or economic condition, it will not never stop. It will continue as like that because no one is interested to stop any reservation. That's why everyone is ready for to take reservation. It is in the condition of caste or economy.
But because of this reservation, those students have skills and all. They are facing so much problem because of these reservations and all.
So instead we can provide scholarship to the needy people instead of like giving a merit list for particular section. And also I would like to highlight a point. He said that in against of reservation, like he said some point. What was the point?
My point was that mostly ST people correlate with being poor as well.
Like in India, we general category like 15 to 30% of general category lies under the middle class. So they are having issues with like financial conditions. They are not getting any kind of support in the basis of merit list as well, and they are not getting scholarship. Even in IITs, you can see like higher dropout rates are from the particular category because of the reservation. They are getting admissions, but they are not, their mind is not able to cope up with the syllabus, so they just quit. You can see the dropout rates from the IITs. So, and also IIT, it's not like we are not giving them chances. IIT has given special chances and seats for particular category like SC/ST categories for doing PhDs, because people of this category are not much interested into this field, like they are not doing PhDs, so they are providing them chances. Also, if you see like fees factor, like some category people has to pay like literally no amount of fees, while a particular category has to pay almost 50 lakhs in the institution for their course. So even they don't have that much money, they are taking loans, and then they are repaying it. So like financial condition, and I have seen most particular category people having the advantage of reservation, though they have proper wealth, they have everything, still they use their quota reservation and they misuse it.
Yeah.
So like strict actions should be taken against that. And I agree with that, like SC/ST people actually needs this. There was discrimination, but this is a modern time. You like rarely people do discrimination like in smaller villages, and with the times passes by, it will also like just vanish. You can see SC/ST people were not, like in the ancient times, were not given their right, but now they are having equal rights. They study with the other people, like they can do work, any work which a general candidate it is doing. So I don't think it's the concern actually now.
I think there must be some conditions. Hmm.
Like needy people should be given
So
reservation
basically, you are in the support
regardless of their caste.
So you are in the, so basically you're saying you should also, you have actually put multiple points. First point you said that there are multiple rich people in lower caste using their lower caste tags to get the benefits of reservation. So basically you can argue with that, then there should be a non-familiar certificate being issued for SC/STs as well. You know what it is? It basically just eliminates out all the rich people from the community. Like people, like for example, it exists for OBC. If you have a wealth over 7 lakhs per year, you cannot avail the reservation benefits. So similarly, you can do it for STSs as well.
Yeah, government has to take actions on that.
Yeah, and the second thing you said that caste discrimination is a past thing, and now it is not really happening. There are so many newses that keep coming up forth that are really about caste discriminations. Well, yeah, it has dropped. I do not disagree with that part, but yeah, there are still caste discriminations going on, and you cannot say that you cannot solve the problem of caste discrimination by hiding it. You cannot say like we don't if you don't talk about it, then caste discrimination is over. You need to acknowledge it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in some areas, people which are high payoff or economically stabilized, but then also they are socially excluded in some areas. So uh, caste reservation might help them in this way, but we can't ignore that some people might disadvantage.
Took disadvantage of it.
Yeah.
There are both sides. Some have some might get help, and some might get.
Well, in my personal belief, this is my actual personal belief. I think the talk over reservation is really overrated. We talk a lot more about reservation than we should actually be talking about it. I'll explain. For example, there are total 50% seats reserved in our in every jobs and education institutions. But when we say we need, basically when we general people like argue with the part that reservation should be not there, but there should be it should the society should be on the meritocracy basis, and the people getting reservation argue that there should be reservation. But my personal belief is when you say that you are somewhere just saying that you don't have to develop the country, but you are just asking a part of it. Like, for example, there are 200 seats in a college, and there are 200 seats reserved for reserved categories. So when reserved categories people say that they need more seats, you are saying that oh, no, there is no need to increase the number of seats. The only need is to give more seats to their community. And similar thing happens with general people as well. So we need to talk more about development rather than talking about reservations. So focus more on having more jobs. Focus on having more on educational seats, and then if the problem what basic thing problem people are facing is they are not getting admissions into colleges, they are not getting jobs. If you can fix that problem, then reservation is not a really big issue. So yeah, we are talking a lot more about reservation than we should be talking. There are other topics that we need to talk about. Would you like to say something?
I think caste-based reservation sometimes create more problem. Like some people, those who need really fast, nice poor people, poor some employees, uh, they have not paid it because of reservation. Sometimes government should is take care about the reservation. Some people.
I think this is the non-ending debate. The reservation was first what I can say, drafted for it was till 1972. Then it was extended
It
even
was
to
only
today.
for 10 years, but it was extended.
It is being extended, it is being amended every year.
So it's generally not the fault of people actually. It's the like government should try to implement such rules like the people who are misusing this reservation. Like government should point out that, as he said, like government should create a non-criminal for SC and STs as well. So I agree with that because, bas, I agree with that.
Okay.
That's my
So
I
point.
think the problem is not just 200 seats, as you said. I think the problem is only 200 seats are there.
yeah.
Uh,
Problem is we should increase seats till 400, and then this problem will get eventually solved at some level.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yes,
overrated. We do not have to really talk about reservation. We have to talk about overall development. Like if you just increase the seats from 200 to 400, like your all the communities get more seats, and then more you'll get more jobs and in the colleges. Like for example, my father asked. I have 90 percentile in my CET score. So my father asked me, "You have 90 percentile, so that basically means you surpassed 90% people appearing for exams. But still, you cannot get top colleges and like good colleges for CS." And then I also wondered, like, yeah, when only top 10% people are not getting, like there is scarcity of seats, there is scarcity of colleges, there are not enough seats in the colleges. That's the real main issue that no one is talking about. And I think even the people in power want us to debate about reservation rather than those things, because as long as we will argue about reservation, we won't ask about increasing the seats. So politicians don't have to go through that much trouble to increase the number of seats and ultimately develop the country. I think
Like they just want to split people, like people like fight on the basis of caste, and they want their vote bank. They have particular vote bank in
Yeah.
that
Not
particular
only
area.
about seats, we can discuss about like there are not so much opportunity of giving exams. Like for dropping, you have to study 1 year. But if we talk about USA, they have their own agency like NTA, and only there is a gap of 2 months. Those who have not passed the exam, after each 2 months, they can reattempt that exam. So there is no higher possibility of taking seat in any college.
Yeah.
So like that system we should implement in our country.
Yeah.
I think government give opportunity first to the skill based people, because of these reservations and all, those who are student, they score much marks, but they, because of this reservation, they facing so much problem, like admissions and all. Be- that's why I think that government give priority to the skill based people first, then they think about like all reservations and all.
I agree with you. Even if you are getting admission based on the reservation, but you when you get to find when you go find jobs, they will only hire those people who have
All
skills.
skills.
So ultimately, no one is getting advantage over there. So everyone end up like uh, uh, upgrading their skills. So it doesn't matter over here, like discrimination and all the reservation doesn't matter over here. So everyone has to upskill themselves regardless of their caste.
Actually,
And also population is also major concern, like the population is increasing day by day. It is difficult for the government also to handle such situation, like providing much seats. Like there is a criteria for that, and it is difficult to do like in just a month or a year or some years. So we have to like, there's population is also factor responsible for that.
actually, I
More
would
the
like
population, more would be the candidates.
I would like to counter argue your 2 points. So first point about your was that skill, it should be jobs and like reservation should be on skill basis.
No,
What
I said
what
my
I'm
point
saying
was whole
is,
different.
okay, my point is that reservation gives you opportunity to develop skills. Like for example, some person who doesn't have any family background, he doesn't have any kind of good education, no coaching institute fees for coaching institutes, and when you're giving him reservation, then actually he can get into good colleges and then he can get jobs and then he can work on himself. Now, on the part of being like why SC/STs people are mostly poor, I'm arguing with that side. You see, you just move back to centuries ago, or like just go back 1 century ago, and you will see class discrimination like just a century ago. So what happens is like SC/ST people do not have land ownings. They do not have so much land. They do not have properties. They do not have wealth, and that thing continues for generations. Like one generation doesn't have wealth, the next generation doesn't have it either, because wealth creates more wealth. That is simple law, basically. That's what I personally believe. The world is not as fair as it may seem, but that's the thing. So with this many years of uh, not having wealth in their communities, they are still so much poor. Like 45% poverty rate. By poverty rate, I mean they do not have 200 rupees to spend a month. Like that's poverty rate. That's so bad. So reservation is justified in some ways. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
I agree with you, but sometimes uh, those people who have well, they have well, satisfied in their all, but they take misuse of these reservations.
So you cannot just say that whole reservation is wrong because a few percentage
So,
of people are misusing it.
but
So you can agree with the part of NCL, like you should have non-familiar. Yeah, I agree with that part.
people are make their income certificate fake also, because they don't see our income personally.
So instead of just like blaming people or reservation, government should actually try to recognize those people using fake certificates and getting fake ones. And again, it should be based on the economic status so that everyone gets the equal opportunities. Even some general candidates are not able to pay that much fees, and so
Yeah.
there should be discrimination. There is discrimination because of that. So reservation should be based on again economic status.
I think we should talk more and spend very less time on solving this problem. This reservation. Government shifts their views on every time on the basis of their vote bank thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We spend very less on R&D and science and all the institutional development, only on this reservation and all. Like you may have heard about this joke, like Ladki Bahini
Yes.
Yojana.
Haan.
Yeah.
We spent almost 70 to 80,000 crore on that scheme, and only 10,000 crore combined on the R&D, research and development.
And ISRO's budget is 16,000.
Only.
60,000 crore only. That's the thing.
Yes.
And Ladki Bahini Yojana, it's like 4 5 times than that. And Ladki Bahini Yojana, we are only talking about Maharashtra. Like,
And the only country survives which is developing science and backing technology and all the things. Like we just bought, not just S400.
yeah.
That technology we bought from
Russia.
Russia.
So like instead of focusing on development of the nation, people are here fighting over the casteism and reservation. So that's why I think it should be equal for all the castes so that people don't fight over it.
Also, there is one more point that I would like to highlight that we believe that caste discrimination is still going on, but is reservation really the solution to fix the caste discrimination? That might not be the truth. So my point is, reservation is neither a huge problem as they make it seem. Like reservation is the only reason that we are not getting seats, or reservation is not a solution for everything. That whole caste discrimination would be finished if we just have reservation. So that's the thing. So we need to understand reservation. Um, we need to understand reservation is neither like very good decision, like 100% perfect, or nor it is very much like destructive for people as well.
Yes, actually hit the nail on the head. In my point of view, I think that government should, instead of discriminating on the basis of merit list, government should actually provide financial support to the people. Like it would be much helpful for them, provide them all the facilities so that they can study and prepare well for the exams. Like instead of reservation on the merit, they should be providing financial support to all the people. Like it is my opinion.
Yeah. Also, I was listening to an interview of BBC of B.R. Ambedkar. In that, even he was highlighting the fact that caste discrimination needs to be over with some kind of program or some kind of different things needs to be done. So reservation itself is not enough to end caste discrimination. There is something more needed to be done. There is need of more education kind of things, more awareness to be spread or something like that. Government needs to do something more about it. Reservation itself is not enough. Would you like to say something?
But I think government are the only one who gets the most benefit of this divide and rule thing.
Yeah, like for example, recently government has uh, allowed caste census for the 2027 election.
Caste census,
Caste
yes.
census, yeah. Well, actually, I do agree with it. Like, at least we will have some data. Like, we never had some data.
I think instead of blaming the government, always people should always try to like upgrade themselves. We are developing nation, and people just fight over the reservation factor. So instead of like, they do discriminate, some upper caste discriminate between the lower caste. So instead of the all doing all these things, all these traditional taboos, removing it, so government should launch some programs in small villages and all, like how we should not discriminate, like some like some categories we should not discriminate between some categories. So government should launch some programs in small cities to address such issues. So instead of blaming government, even people should also try to like develop their thinking. Now this is the modern time, and doing casteism, looking back on other caste, is not the solution.
Also, this is a very less highlighted point that I would like to highlight. that there are so many boundaries in our the spaces we live, like be it on religion basis or on caste basis. We have like separate, like this area is mostly of Muslim people, this area is mostly of, so this thing they are very segregated in our society. I have recently know about the Singapore's caste case study. What they did right after independence was when they started building house for poor people, they purposefully put different communities in single apartments to integrate them, to reduce the hate between themselves. And that was really masterstroke, which has really helped Singapore to where Singapore is today.
Exactly. Like it's not like discrimination is all like it's only in India, but you can see in South Africa and USA as well. There was discrimination between white and black people. So it's not like only India is facing such issues, but rather USA is a developed nation while India is still developing. So the people like adapted to this modern era, and they are not like discriminating just like Indians do nowadays. Like still some people are doing
Actually, there are some
discrimination.
cases against black people yet.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the amount of cases like is low as if we compare.
Actually, we don't come across those news a lot, and like also the part of that, like our media, like no form of media really covers the news of discriminations happening against lower caste people. So that's been somehow been hidden away from the people. Like that's what I feel like.
I completely agree with this. Like media should focus on showing true news rather than showing some
Yeah.
news, jar of news. Just cut this part.
So should we conclude our today's group discussion?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like to conclude. We have reached to a conclusion that topic of reservation is not a gray and white, like a black and white story. It's like a complete whole gray matter. There are completely different perspectives you need to study. There are different angles you need to look into it. You need to consider everyone's opinion. There are a lot of people, and so much data needs to be agreed on to it. So our today's argument is that we have reached to a conclusion that we should have non-criminal layer for STSC people as well. And yeah, caste-based discrimination is there, and yeah, that's the thing. And it was great speaking to you all. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
you.
Stop the recording.